Hey, good morning, Dexter.
Good morning, Ralph. It's
How's
nice
it
to
going?
see that you actually. I could always count on Mr. Seaver, seeing Mr. Seaver in the jersey
Oh, in the background
in
back
the
there.
background, right? I usually have
Yeah,
a tendency to stay on the same spot, but I kind of move around too a lot, right? So
yeah.
everything looks the same because it's all the same color. But at least there's a little variation in the background, keeps you interested,
A little
right?
bit. Yeah, a little bit. I've got my Seaver display right back here. Also, in the little curio cabinet, I've got a whole little homage to my favorite player of all time.
Yeah, and
So,
I've got a window with a curtain
ooh,
behind it. Ooh,
ooh.
I am a stylist. Let me tell
Oh,
you.
here we go again. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dexter. This is Ralph.
Good morning. Welcome back to the next episode of Two Friends Talking. For anybody who isn't aware, we're just two old friends from the South Bronx, just catching up on old times. We try to stay in touch with each other this way, and we decided to just record it and to share it with anybody that cares to listen to two old goats
Where
going
are we
back and
now?
forth.
Where's our fan base now? Are we at like 12 now? Where
No, we have a few more than 12.
a few more than 12? Okay, all right. So a few more than
Yeah,
12. So
yeah,
we're at
it's
17
actually,
then.
yeah.
Hey, you know
Actually,
what? There are
yeah,
17 people out there whose lives we could change.
for the worst.
Yeah.
Oh God, no. The last time I took a look, I think we had it was like 279 viewers.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay.
it's not
Terrific.
bad.
I'm
We have
glad.
279 people who got nothing better to do.
Then to listen to us, right? That's crazy. I can't believe that.
Yeah. Well, one thing I keep hearing over and over again is they like the banter and the laughs. So, which we
Oh,
do at every point. So,
we
if
do it
that's
at
what
the
you're
wow.
looking for, there's plenty of that.
Yeah.
If you're looking for common sense and reason,
No, that's not happening. But look, it's a great way to stay connected. We love it.
yeah,
Hopefully you guys are getting a kick out of it. You know.
yeah. And at the end of the day, that was the whole point of these, is because, ashamedly, I will say from my part, a while ago, we disconnected, and it was mainly my fault. When I was in the military, we disconnected for years and years, and now I just kind of feel like I need to make up for it.
Well, I
I've
don't know if it's that you need
obviously,
to make up for it. I think what happens is that, life gets in the way, right? Not I think, life gets in the way, things happen. But what's important is that you're coming back, right? And that you're
yeah,
circling back around. And as we get older, like the relationships that we have, we start to appreciate them a lot more because,
exactly.
it's just so, I just turned 65.
Yeah,
So, you know,
I'm right behind you.
yeah, there are thoughts that are going through my head that have never gone through my head,
Oh
right?
yeah, we have to. We
Yeah,
have
I
to.
enjoy I enjoy our conversations, even though our lives are still very, very busy. I
Yeah,
I I enjoy our conversations because it allows us to stay grounded, in our roots,
exactly,
where we
exactly.
came from, who we are, right?
Exactly, and that's quite a bit of it right there. Is just we know we're childhood friends, and I definitely don't want to lose that under any circumstances. So this is a great
Yeah.
way to catch up. And again, for everybody who and anybody who wants to join us, thank you, welcome, and let's get on with it. So,
That's a thought
um,
there, Ralph. We should have
what?
who if anybody wants to join us,
Yeah, why not?
yeah,
Sure.
why
If
not, right? If
if
they reach
they're
out to us
if
and they
they're
say to us,
that courageous,
and they want to get on the phone with us. They want to do a call with us at some point. Jump on this
sure.
app that we have. Perfect. I would love
Okay,
that.
and on that note, I'm posting this obviously on various platforms. If anybody out there is interested, just send us a DM and let us know. If you
Yeah,
want to join us, we can definitely try to schedule something, bring you in during the middle of our banter, and if you want to chat in with us, you're welcome to it. So there it is. You're watching us, so go ahead, send me or Dexter a quick hello, and if you're interested, just say so. Anyway, so last time we really discussed quite a bit of the World Cup, and so the final Argentina Spain. At this point, I mean, I don't have a dog in this fight, so I really
Neither
don't
do
care.
I.
I just want a good match.
Yeah,
So, but it's
old world
finally
versus
set.
new world, right? Old world
Yeah.
Spain versus new world Latin America.
Last night, well, today is Saturday. What is today? The 18th? Something like that? The
I
18th
think
or
so. Yes,
19th?
the 18th. Yes,
No.
yes, it's the
Yeah,
18th. Yes.
18th. So last night, President Trump had an address to the American public, but the problem was that I don't think many networks carried it. And I think from what I read, the main subject of that he had that the 2020 elections were actually stolen. And I don't think that really matters. Well, it does matter in that if it was, that is a serious problem with our system. But in the end, in the great balance of things, he won again. He's got his second term. And, if anything, I think it might have focused him a little bit more for his second term. Now, I'm not saying it was for the better or for the worse. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that in the great scheme of things, if it was in fact, if he does have proof that it was stolen, yeah, it's a great shame that such a thing can happen. But to him personally, I don't think it really matters because he's back in for his second term. It was unfortunate that if he can prove it. If he can prove it, it's unfortunate that such a thing can happen. And the only thing that I've got to say that is by the various platforms not covering it, it kind of makes me wonder whether or not he's got a leg to stand on because, the press is there to do what? To report, right? And for them to arbitrarily decide, no, we're not going to cover that, to me, that might actually go towards what he is saying. I'm not saying that he's right or he's wrong. I'm just saying I can see why, by the press deciding not to cover that press conference that supposedly he had proof, it makes me wonder whether or not maybe there was something to all that. I don't know. And since it wasn't covered, I may never know.
Um, I don't.
Oh, go ahead, lay it on
I
me.
feel. Yeah, I feel the opposite of that. I feel that the reason that the news organizations didn't cover him is because he had no proof, right? It's 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 the same old arguments. It's the same old memorandum. It's the same old information that he's processed in the past. You know what bothers me more about this than anything else?
But
It seems to me. Well, first, let me say my one opinion. I see what he's doing. Everything that this president does is about smoke and mirrors, right? We're going to handle everything. I'm looking at everything very differently. The news organizations decided not to carry him because maybe they felt that this wasn't important. Everything that the president, everything about this president, you always have to wonder what's coming out of his mouth as to whether it's important, whether it's not important, whether it's newsworthy, whether it's not newsworthy. I when I listened to the speech and I listened to it in its entirety, I didn't feel that that was a nighttime primetime address. You could have covered that in a news conference, right? I haven't seen anything that convinces me, any proof, and he hasn't presented any real proof of any sort of voter suppression or any sort of voter fraud. And if there has been, I think the courts, the news, right, the politicians would have uncovered it by now, right? But they haven't. So it's all what he's trying to do. He's trying to influence the midterms. He keeps going back to his playbook and he keeps saying, you know what? If I say this enough times, whether I provide proof of it or not, people are going to start to believe it. I was wronged. I lost the election. And that's a perfect segue. Why are you still focused on that election? That
Right.
you're back in office. Why do you care? Why does that
That's
L mean so
right.
much to you? Who
Right.
cares? You are there now. You're so focused on the past. Why are you so focused on that?
That's what I started on a moment ago. In the great balance, in the great scheme of things, if he can prove it, now then it does go to show that yeah, there's a great problem in our government. If he can prove that. Now, that said, that said, to him personally, it really I'm not sure that it should matter that much because he is back in. That was how I
That's
started
my
the
point.
conversation.
You have bigger
Yeah,
problems to worry about at this point
yeah,
in time. You have other things to focus on,
yeah.
right?
There are
Other things
there are other things,
to
and here's
focus on.
my
And
thing,
you know
right?
what? Here's what
And
and I hate to interrupt you, bro, but I
go for
love
it.
what you just said. I love what you just said. You're presenting, you're saying, you know what, this could be, but I want to see the proof. I love
Mhm.
that. And the reason I love that, that is a rational statement, right? Okay, I'm going to let you talk, but let me see the proof. And
Mhm.
that's the same thing I'm saying. Look, you know what? You haven't shown me the proof in 8 years. So
Mhm.
where is the proof? You're controlling all the intelligence agencies at this point, the Department of Justice, CIA, National Intelligence, FBI. Where is the proof? All you're doing is making suggestions. You're saying, oh, it's going to corrosive, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, it's cataclysmic. Where is your proof?
Right.
He
No,
just
I get that.
that's his game plan, right? That's what he does.
Right.
He puts the idea in people's heads, and there are people that are rational like you, and will say, "Okay, where's the proof?" And then there are people, "Oh, because he said it, I'm gonna believe it." That's the
Right.
problem that I have here.
And on the other side, it also applies because he said it. I'm not going to believe it.
Correct.
So,
Right.
you know what I mean. What we've got here is a slide rule of insanity, if you want to look at it that way, where
Hmm.
you've got on one end people that will not believe it simply because they don't want to believe it. Regardless, there are people that will believe it because they want to believe it regardless. And then somewhere in the middle, there's people that are saying, we're listening, but show us, please show us something. And that's kind of like where I'm at. Now, that
And that's where
said,
I'm at.
I think that was a documentary. I forget the name of it. I'll post it, I'll overlay this as we go. That was filmed and it was very short lived. It was taken down from various platforms that showed people stuffing ballot boxes throughout the nation. Same people, because there's cameras everywhere. You know, there, especially like in Philadelphia, I think there was the best example. They show one person going to various ballot boxes, stuffing them.
And so these are the kind of things, 4 million minutes of this. This was an organized effort to subvert a free and fair election. This is organized crime. You can't look at this data in its aggregate and believe anything otherwise. That's especially true when you consider
The same person, and you can see their license plate. There's no doubt that it's the same person. The question is, what were they stuffing in there? If it was a ballot box, you have to believe they were ballots. But the point I'm trying to make
Into
is
a mailbox, you mean?
no ballot
Oh,
boxes.
to a ballot box. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll show clips if I can find them because they were taken down so quickly from various platforms. The point I'm trying to make is in the past, there have been sort of like attempts to show proof, whether it was valid proof or not. I don't know, right? But then it gets discredited immediately by
Tip of
the
the
press.
iceberg. You're talking about extraordinary criminal activity, but there's a ton more, you would guess, that you have not even touched.
You are talking about 300,000 ballots that were just harvested in only your geolocated locations. But you are talking, what, 5% of America?
less.
Less than 5%. Okay.
And I'm not one of those that says the press is evil, therefore I don't believe any of it. I have gotten to that conclusion a couple of times. But in this case, I'm saying I've seen that before where there's evidence of possible tampering, but the media scrubs it, and all of a sudden it doesn't exist.
Well, so to that, what I say is, if you're going to, you cannot pay attention to single source media, right? I don't
Right.
watch just CNN, right? I
Oh,
watch
thank God.
CNN, I watch
Yeah.
Fox, I watch
Yeah.
MSNBC. I don't read just the New York Times. I read the New York Times, I read AP, I read NPR. Like
I
I
get it.
use
Yeah.
different, I look at different sources. I listen to 77 when I'm in the car, right, which is a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
conservative radio station. So I'm always exposing myself to different people's views because I don't want to seem that I don't want to be that guy, that ignorant
I get
guy
it.
that
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
not
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
educated as to what's happening.
Yeah.
So you know, but that's the thing. When it comes to things like fraud and cover up and proof. Look, we went down this road before. This is not the only president that has
Right. No. No. No.
that
You're
has
right.
done
You're
things
right.
like this, right?
I think
So
every
I
every
look at him.
president has had something questionable about. Every president has had
Even
something questionable
Obama,
about them.
even Obama
Yeah.
had something questionable. There are things that he did in the dark that any president does. I'm sure there's things that they've all done in the dark
Sure.
that he hasn't done,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
none of them have hands. You can't.
Right.
You're running a
Right.
nation, right? So
Right.
you can't
Right.
do it. But at the
People that
same time,
support you and people that want you out by any
yeah.
means necessary.
By any means
So
necessary. The only thing, but then I look at everything and I say to myself, wow, I kind of have to examine everything. I said to you from the very beginning when he went back into office that I am going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I
I
will
remember that. Yeah.
always, I will always do that. I will say, you know what? I'm going to listen. I'm going to pay attention. I try to judge everything separately.
But nonetheless, here we are. And, we'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, we've wasted quite a bit of time on this subject. Shall we change the subject?
Yeah, we can change the subject.
Yeah,
What,
let's,
what do
let's
you
change
want
the
to?
subject. So, but you know what? I watched the movie. It's been kind of controversial the last couple of weeks. And it's called Citizen Vigilante. And I don't know whether you've seen this movie or not, but I saw it and I can see why the controversy. I can see why. But at the same time, I can see why the appeal. It's one of those movies that, you know what? Let me phrase it like this. That is the best bad movie I've ever seen. I mean, it is not a good movie like cinematography wise, production wise, the
It's not
storyline.
a well-made movie. Yeah.
Exactly. But it is a good movie for a couple of reasons. Number one, it speaks on something that is very, very real and is very, I don't know, if you want to call it inflammatory, call it inflammatory, but it's a real issue that they bring out, which is the immigration crisis. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, so they focus on um, the Muslim community. So, and because there
In
is
the movie?
yeah, in the movie,
In the
the
movie. Okay.
problem in the movie, well, and actually in real life, so that movie is actually it's sort of imitating reality. So if you see a lot of issues, a lot of problems in Europe, it's because supposedly of the Muslim influence, for lack of a better word, all over Europe, in New York
France
City.
is dealing with that now. Yes.
Yeah, in New York City, that's happening now. Now all of a sudden, mysteriously, a lot of churches are burning down. All of a sudden, there's a lot of churches that are mysteriously combusting. I just leave it at that. So anyway, even though I don't think any proof has been provided as to who's doing it, the point of this movie is you've got one guy. I don't even know why they decided to make him an American. He takes matters into his own hands. What's the word I'm looking for?
What
Yeah.
vigilanteism?
Thank you very much. And I'm gonna edit this part too.
Like a heart attack, and we don't want that. No.
Or a stroke.
Uh, uh,
But so the subject, so the subject.
Sorry, that
I need some of your products.
somebody give me some air.
Whatever you got, send it my way, my friend. Movie, but the movie is interesting in that it is not exactly the best put together movie, but the subject matter is very real. The it's put in a way that speaks to. I don't know that it's just a few million people. I think it speaks to hundreds of millions of people internationally about immigration problems, and that one guy
Now, is
takes
the vigil?
matters
I
into his own.
apologize. Is the vigilante pro or against? Uh,
Oh, he's definitely against uh,
I mean, I don't want to ruin
illegal
the movie for
immigration.
anybody, but okay.
No. You know, spoiler alerts, right? Oh, spoilers. But yeah, he is against the not just so much immigration, but unfettered, unchecked, out of control immigration, where a new population, whoever the population happens to be, comes into a nation and then starts to assert itself in a violent, negative, destructive way. And so this particular character in the movie takes matters into his own hands and starts to fight back that community, which in Europe for a while that movie was banned because the last thing a government wants is people like him walking in the streets while taking matters into their own
Right,
hands.
right,
But
right.
recently the movie became so popular that it was released in Europe to 18-year-olds and older.
So, like an
So
R rating. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so it is an interesting movie. I liked it as far as the subject matter. As far as a movie well put together, I mean, it is not a Godfather quality type of movie, you know what I mean?
We're not
Or
talking. We're not talking
yeah,
like a fantastic, take your breath away cinematography.
yeah, no, this is not going to go into a time capsule to be revisited in 100 years. But it's an interesting movie, and I think anybody that watches it will take something from it, whether it speaks to that person in a positive manner, or whether they'll take that as, oh my God, how can people do that, or how can people be portrayed in that? But I think anybody will take something from that movie because of the subject matter.
Well, it's
Just so
available.
happens.
It's available. I saw it on Amazon. It's available. You could
Oh
rent
yeah,
it. Yeah.
sure, sure. If you get a chance to watch it, it may speak to you or it may make you laugh. But I think we can all look at that movie and go, "Wow, that was very interesting," or "Wow, that was amazingly stupid." Whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? But there's a reason why that movie is so uh, I don't caustic in some ways, caustic, but certainly controversial. I can see why. I can see why it's so controversial. So
Oh, I'll take a look at
yeah,
it. I'll definitely
yeah,
take a
man.
look at it. It's going to be one of those
But
days where I'm going to be like in and out errands, but tonight I'll settle in. Maybe that'll be my Saturday night watch.
yeah, man, I gotta think. And if you do watch it, let's discuss it. Maybe in the next episode. In the
All
next
right.
episode, because I think it's worth. I think it's worth discussing. I really do. I think it's one of those movies that can have an impact on people, dramatic even.
Yeah, I
And again,
know. I'll enjoy the movie. I'll probably have the same opinion as you. Good content, just crap filmmaking.
yeah. I mean, there's a couple of points in the movie where even I had to stop and pause and go, "What?
Is that an iPhone?
What?"
Is that an iPhone filming that right now? Oh man, that's so
Anyway, if you
bad.
get a chance to watch it, I think again, at the very least, we'll have something to discuss in our next chat because I think that movie is worth discussing. I think that movie more than any movie in recent memory is a good talking point. I
Well,
really
good
do.
movie for him to come back on, right? That people are actually talking about it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Even though even though the movie was not exactly, 5 stars, the subject matter is pretty interesting. And it's worth discussing to anybody who has watched it. And if this is something that you feel like you want to join us in on, if you want to discuss that on our next podcast, just go ahead and text us, email us, or whatever. I'll post my email on the closing credits on this podcast, and just let me know.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds like a
but
plan,
on
man.
that note, yeah, man. But on that note, I think our time is running short because you got stuff going on.
I got stuff going on. I always got stuff going on.
Yeah,
Yeah. I like working. I like it. It keeps
yeah,
me moving. It keeps me
yeah,
engaged. It keeps me,
yeah,
in a social environment, right?
yep,
I don't want to be that retiree, sunning for 12 hours a day. I don't want to do that. I like working. I like
sure,
having to get I like a reason to get up in the morning. You know what I mean? Other than just my own self. But anyway,
exactly. It gives us something to do, something to look forward to. I mean, the last thing I want to do is again be the greeter at Walmart. You know what I mean? That's a sad,
hello, Mr.
sad thing.
Quinones. Hello, Raphael. How are you today? This is your fourth trip in here. Did you forget the diapers again? Did we
Please
have an accident,
put away
Raphael?
the club now, please.
All right, brother.
All
Let me
right,
go.
man. All right, guys.
Oh wait,
Thanks
go
for
ahead.
joining us. We appreciate that, and we'll see you soon, hopefully. So until then, Dexter, have a good one. Talk to
You
you
too,
soon.
brother.
Have a great week. Take
Have
care,
a
bro.
great week, everyone.
All right.